That's what she said. And he said from Michelle Crow. I've heard that. And she asked me to be an agent. And he told her that she didn't have no talent. And he told me that great defense attorney, but he would have to give my biggest regret in life. We're still in Michelle Crow. She didn't have any talent.
Wow.
Good evening. It's time to call the meeting to order. Public hearing agenda tonight for April 13th, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. We will have roll call, please.
Ms. Carr?
Here.
Ms. Manning?
Here.
Ms. Brunson? Here. Ms. Perry?
Here.
Mr. Lawrence?
Here.
All right, we'll have the invocation. Terry, if you would give us the invitation tonight, and then Ms. Bronson is going to do the pledge.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us here today. Thank you for getting us here safely. Please guide our words and actions during the meeting and return us home safely. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, looks like all we have on the public hearing is one item. That's the ordinance 524-2016, setting the salary of the chief of police, the town of Benton, fixing the salary at $62,400 and repealing all other ordinance in conflict hereafter. So, would you like to continue to read the rest of that, please?
An ordinance amending ordinance 542 of 2016, setting the salary of the chief of police of the town of Benton, Louisiana, fixing an annual salary of $62,400 and repealing all ordinances in conflict therewith. Whereas the town of Benton, Louisiana operates as a large municipality governed by the provisions of Louisiana Revised Statute Title 33, and whereas the Louisiana RS Code 33-4041 grants the Board of Aldermen the authority to fix the compensation of municipal officers by ordinance, and whereas the current annual compensation of the chief of police is $58,240, and whereas the Board of Aldermen has determined that an adjustment in compensation is necessary to adequately reflect the time, duties, and responsibilities required of the office, and therefore be it ordained by the Mayor and Board of Aldermen of the town of Benton, Louisiana, in legal session convened. The annual compensation for the chief of police is hereby fixed at the sum of $62,400.00 per year. The salary increase shall be effective upon adoption of this ordinance and upon the town's appropriation of sufficient funds in the town's annual budget.
Do we have any public comments tonight?
I do. I have the same comment I had last month. Unless somebody, Ron Jones. Unless somebody can show me something that contradicts what I have here from the Attorney General's office that says they can get a raise, but it does not start until their next term. Now, I don't know if anybody's got any paperwork that says anything different from that, but this is the way it's been for years and years and years. It includes the mayor, the police chief, and all the aldermen, anybody that's elected official. Would you like me to read it?
Sir?
No?
Mr. Ron, are you reading from RS 33, semicolon 404.1?
Louisiana Attorney General opinion. And here's another sheet. It's a little bit different from that one. It's worded about this whole Okay,
Mr. Joel said he would address it.
okay.
Mr. Jones, I've seen what you handed to Alderwoman Manning. I've also got a copy provided to me by the mayor because I believe you forwarded it to the mayor.
I did.
All right? What I'm looking at is a Google search, AI mode, Louisiana Attorney General opinion on Alderman pay raise beginning. This is not an Attorney General's opinion.
It's Attorney General opinion.
This is an AI hallucination.
I don't care what it is, it's from the Louisiana State Legislature.
This is an AI hallucination.
whatever you
Hold on one
think.
second, sir. I want you to understand this.
I understand.
I have contacted the AG's office
Okay.
as of today, specifically asked them for the AG opinion that prevents an increase in salary during term. They could not find me an AG opinion. All of their AG opinions have to do with a decrease being prospective. The state law
Okay.
says that a decrease shall not take place during the term. Simply because the decrease is mentioned, it does not imply that the increase is treated in the same manner.
It
If
does.
they
I have a
wanted,
piece of paper out in my truck that says it does. You
if
wanna go get
they
it?
wanted,
Let me go get it right quick.
hold on.
Hold on. I hate to be made out of liars.
All right, while he's gone, is there any other public comments or anybody got anything they want to say or add to this conversation?
I do. Shall we wait until he's done?
Well, he can come back if he could make it brief.
Yeah, I guess it'll be brief enough.
You already signed in, though, right?
I did, number 3.
Okay.
I only had 2 points. Seems like you've already done one of them, which obviously would be, well, let's contact the Attorney General and get a specific opinion and have it sent to us, and then we'll know. It's pretty simple, right? You've already contacted them, so I guess the next meeting, we should probably be getting an answer back from the Attorney General.
I will address that.
Cool. And then the other thing that I was going to say, I'll just jump the line on quick, okay? The other thing I was going to say is, based on a year's worth of work, we're talking about giving chief of police a whopping $2 an hour raise. I don't think that's too big a deal. And then the next question would be, if the Attorney General comes back and says, hey, we need to do it on the next term, like when we actually get the answer from the Attorney General, if it says next term, maybe we should look at maybe giving it $2.50, $3 raise because of cost of living, so on and so forth. That was my 2 quick points. Thanks.
The annual increase is $4,160.
Right, divided by 52 weeks at a rough 40-hour schedule is divided by 2,080 hours, works out to about $2 an hour.
That's correct.
Okay. This is according to the Attorney General Constitution and Prohibition against the reduction. And then down here it says, once their salary is raised, it becomes subject to the same constitutional restriction as reduction. So the reduction goes the same ruling for the reduction goes for the raise according to this. And this is from Louisiana State something, I'm not sure who it's from. Now, if you can show me something from somebody else that says anything different, I'll go home and shut up.
What year was that?
This is from the Louisiana Legislative Auditor website.
Okay. I don't know what you're talking about. The reduction is supposed to be treated the same as the raise, according to that. The same rules. And I'm not trying to knock anybody out of the raise. I
You
don't
want
think
me to
everybody-
read this?
Yeah, go ahead. You can't multitask? I'm sorry.
No, I don't want to listen to you while I'm trying to focus on this.
Okay.
Because if you've had this, why haven't you provided it?
I did provide it. I gave it to James. That was the first packet that I gave James. And he said he sent it to you. Made a copy of it. You want that? You can have it if you want.
No, I'll deal with AG on it.
I'm through.
All right,
But hold on, in response to this, your question, okay? We will not have an AG's opinion because it hadn't been made formally. This was talks with one of the assistant attorney generals of the civil division on the phone today, okay? And they basically stated their AG opinions are running about 6 months behind. So I could request one of those this week, but we're not going to see an answer in an official AG opinion until probably, what month is this, April, October.
I think that would satisfy everybody, because if the AG or the people that he contacted, maybe we send letters to both places, get an answer in 6 months. If we're wrong, we rescind it out of his pocket. If we're right, we just keep rocking it. Like, pretty easy, right? Like, I was in the military, they just take your pay. Government employee, just take his pay. Like, this thing ain't that big of a thing. Thank you.
how much we talking about?
Jay,
$2 an hour.
Friday, I got a question.
Okay, step forward.
My question is to Mr. Jones.
Yes, sir.
How did Wayne Cathcart get this gigantic raise that y'all voted him in when you were on the council right after he was elected many years ago? How did that happen?
I don't remember that.
You voted for it,
I don't remember.
of course.
Was it the beginning of the year? The beginning of a...
No, remember, he got appointed temporary when the previous mayor died in hospital.
Yeah.
Right after he ran for office, he got elected, and then y'all gave him like a 2 or 3 times the salary. It went from like 19,000 to 50,000.
I don't remember that. It's not that much now.
Somebody needs to look up the records, because that happened.
It did happen, but I can't recall the numbers or the amounts.
27 to 45.
27 to 45. Right after he was elected. And then when he decided not to run again, the council voted it down again, went in reverse.
That's correct.
Remember that?
Well, I wasn't on the council, but yes.
You remember that?
After he was elected?
Yeah.
Like you said, well, you can get-
Unfortunately, that has nothing to do with Mr. Poyer's raise.
Why don't you answer that?
Yeah, he did have it reduced, but he chose to reduce it down to 40 from 45.
Again, that has nothing to do with what our current topic is.
It's got everything to do with it. Precedent.
Thank you.
Elected officials.
Mr. Collier, the only thing that I know about this, when I was on the council, somebody suggested that we get a raise, the alderman. And it went through. I voted against it, actually. It went through. And the attorney that we had on the council at that time, Mr. Irwin, who's a municipal attorney, he said, you can't get it until the next election. You can vote it in now, but you can't. That's how I knew about this. And then when I heard they were trying to get a $725 a month raise, I thought, Lord of mercy, that's a hell of a raise for a councilman that comes to a couple of meetings every month and, looks at some paperwork. And I know it's not worth that much because I did it for 20 years.
Well,
And that's the only thing I'm saying. It's
me and Mr. Cantrell were the 2 big movers to get Wayne elected mayor.
yeah.
And then when he got elected for real, after he was serving interim,
Yeah.
and I found out what he had done and moved that raise that high.
Mike, you're on tape, you can talk, conversate with him afterwards about y'all's discussion about the raises and stuff.
Well, it really didn't make any difference.
Yeah, well, we need to get on with our meeting. Thank you, sir. All right, all right, now, we got any council members that have any comments or anything before we adjourn the public hearing? All right, so we'll make a Make a motion to adjourn the public hearing.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
And we'll move into the regular session. We have a roll call, please.
Ms. Carr?
Here.
Ms. Manning?
Here.
Ms. Brunson? Here. Ms. Perry?
Here.
Mr. Lawrence?
Yes, here.
All right, we'll call to order the regular session. We get the agenda approval. I've already signed that, and then Ms. Collier has also signed it. Do we have any public comments on the regular agenda? All right. There are none. We do need to make some amendments to the regular session, though. I need a motion and a second to hear from Mark Laskowski, PMI, on public comments for our bookkeeping. So I need a motion for that and a second, please.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All right. Roll call vote.
Ms. Carr?
Yes.
Ms. Manning?
Yes.
Ms. Brunson?
Yes.
Ms. Perry?
Yes.
Mr. Lawrence?
Yes.
All right. He will be item, I believe, number 7 on the agenda. All right, number 8, if we vote again, a motion and a second to amend the regular session for Ryan and Rayleigh Associates and a resolution to approve master plat for B&R subdivisions. Need a motion and a second, please.
What did you say, Mayor?
That it's add Ryan Estes, who represents Rayleigh and Associates for the B&R subdivision.
B and R or V and R?
B is in boy and R is in Rodney.
Where is it? Okay.
Right over here off of Falmouth.
Do we have any information on it? Oh,
There it is right there. He was not on the agenda, so that's why we don't have it.
so we just now getting this today?
Yeah.
It's been approved by the MPC.
No, I'm saying we just now getting
Yes.
this information today. Is this your first time hearing about it?
Oh, no.
You
I've been
did-
to the MPC meeting.
Oh, okay. And it wasn't brought to the board,
Well,
your findings?
it was approved by the MPC, and he's wanting to see if we'll approve it tonight or look at it tonight for the approval of the master plan. It's not being built, he's just trying to get approval for the master plan. Do I have a motion for anyone, or anybody looked at it yet?
I'm motioning to be added.
All right.
Second.
You got a motion and a second? Ms. Perry made the motion, Terry seconded it. All right, roll call vote for that, please.
Ms. Carr?
No.
Ms. Manning?
No.
Ms. Brunson? Yes. Ms. Perry?
Yes.
Mr. Lawrence?
Yes.
All right, well, it's not a unanimous decision, so it will not be added onto the agenda. All right, I need a motion, and we already got a motion and a second to approve the agenda, and now we had public comments. I need to have a vote. We did get a motion and second, didn't we? We didn't?
Not to approve the agenda as amended.
To approve the agenda?
As amended, yes.
Yes, amended.
I
we
motion
need-
to approve as amended.
Okay.
Second.
All right, got a motion and a second to approve the agenda as amended. Any public comments? Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Carr?
Yes.
Ms. Manning?
Yes.
Ms. Brunson? Yes. Ms. Perry?
Yes.
Mr. Lawrence?
Yes.
All right, I need approval of the minutes approved for March 9th, public hearing and regular sessions. I need a motion and a second for those, please.
Motion to approve.
Was it March 9th or March 10th? March 10th, that's all.
Yeah,
March 10th.
yeah, March 10th, I'm sorry. There's a typo here on my paper here. Scratch through that. So let me reread that. I need the approval of the minutes for March 10th, public hearing and regular session.
Motion to approve.
Second.
You got a motion and a second. Any public comment? Roll call vote for the council, unless y'all got any comments.
Yes, I have comments on the, all right. So on March 10th, we informed the public that we were having an executive session to discuss an employee matter. That information was incorrect because we did not discuss an employee matter. Okay? The town clerk cannot initiate or call an executive order. Okay? An appointed official, elected officer cannot be called into executive order behind closed doors. Elected officials operate independently to the mayor instead of being an employee of the mayor.
Ms. Manning, can I?
Hold on.
An executive session is not public record.
Hold on.
It's not part of the public hearing minutes.
I know that.
So
can
why are
can
you airing executive session business?
I'm not airing it out. Could you please let me finish?
Okay.
All right, thank you. Okay, so the correction is we went into an executive meeting per the mayor stating employee personnel issues, and there was none. Because I am not an employee of the mayor. I was voted in and elected and hired by the people. And anything that needs to be discussed with any elected official needs to be in the public and not behind closed doors. Furthermore, it was not a 24-hour notice, even if I wouldn't say anything about it. So that needs to be reflected, Mr. Joel, in the minutes as a correction, and that's why I brought it up. I didn't bring up the discussion that we had in the executive meeting. I brought up that this information needs to be publicly corrected so that we can know. And yes, the public does have a right to know what the board goes into that executive meeting to discuss. And I'm not an employee of the mayor.
I don't disagree with that.
Please put that in the minutes verbatim and make sure it's published.
Before you add all that to the minutes and everything, let me recall y'all's memory. I did call that executive session. It was to discuss some employees' activities. It did not have anybody's names or about any particular person that we were going to discuss at that particular time. And an executive session calls for privacy, and it calls for the discretion of the council to talk about anything other than HIPAA, which means your medical records and stuff of that nature. So what we were discussing was something that had been put out on Facebook that was a blatant lie, and we wanted to know where it come from, and Ms. Manning would not reveal or tell us exactly what was going on in that executive meeting. That was what the meeting was called for. So, if you got any redactions to do, then let me see it before you redact it.
And
All right, next question.
therefore, Mr. Mayor, an executive meeting cannot be held on an elected official because it has to be public and not behind closed doors.
Yes,
So if you would like to
let me
put that on the
reiterate, it did not say
agenda,
anything
you
about
can put
elected
that
officials.
on the agenda and we can discuss it for the public to have opportunity to discuss that.
Again, we did not say anything about elected officials when we called the executive meeting. All right, so anything else, anybody else got anything else to say?
You asking for public comment or just the alder people?
If you got something you'd like to say, you'd be more than glad to speak up.
Rex Moncrief, 22A Hickory Ridge, down in Bossier. So while Ms. Manning and I have had many disagreements of late, she is correct about that, and I'm sure your attorney can verify that. So executive sessions have a very narrow focus and scope. If you're going to discuss an actual employee, that's one thing, and you do have to give the employee 24 hours notice, and the employee can opt to have it in an open meeting. If it's going to be for a lawsuit, you got to cite the case number, or it has to be known pending litigation. So, despite our differences, she's absolutely correct on that.
And we can have differences without being at odds with each other. Please put that in the records. Thank you.
All right, any other public comments or anything from the council?
I would like to also make another notation in the minutes. And I want to make this very clear. Any discrepancies that I see in the minutes, I'm going to call them out and I'm going to ask for corrections.
So noted.
Under PMI, under the ordinance where it states that Ms. Manning stated she has a correction to the minutes. She stated that number 3, the ordinance to amend, oh, I'm sorry, not PMI, to amend the accounting code for PMI contract to decrease from 29 to 15,000. Okay, so
What pages was that on the minutes? Got the minutes right here.
the minutes are not numbered by page.
Okay, tell me what, is it in the regular session or the public session?
In the regular session, 1, 2, 3, 4, on the 5th page. Under where it says, it's in the box. She highlighted it and put it in the box. Okay, it stated that the contract was for $29,000. On the expenditure report in the statement, ballot statement, it states it has been budgeted for $29,000. That's where I got the numbers from. So if the numbers are incorrect, then it came from the person who did the budget. Okay, so Stephanie did state in the recording, because I did hear her say that the contracted amount for PMI is $28,800, and she did state that twice. However, in our financials, it's $29,000.
The reason why it was $29,000 is because at the time we had a part-time contract laborer who was also coded out of that code. which was Shannon Hammond. So that was the additional money that was budgeted for the overage. That didn't mean that only PMI's contract was $29,000, because I never said it was $29,000. It was just budgeted for a little bit of overage. It's better to have too much than not enough.
Okay, so, I just wanted to make that notation in the minutes. Thank you. We'll talk about the budget and the numbers when we get to the budget.
Any other comments? All right. Need a vote on, as the notations were made, for approval of the amendments.
Ms. Carr?
Yes.
Ms. Manning?
No.
Ms. Brunson?
Yes.
Ms. Perry?
Yes.
Mr. Lawrence?
Yes.
All right. Old business, this is the final vote on ordinance 626 of 2026. Would y'all read it, please?
An ordinance amending ordinance 524 of 2016, setting the salary of the chief of police of the town of Benton, Louisiana, fixing the annual salary at $62,400 and repealing all ordinances in conflict herewith.
All right, I need a motion and a second.
I motion.
Second.
All right, I have a motion for a vote on the ordinance 626 of 2026 and a second. Any public comments? Being none?
Quick one.
Yes, sir.
There's people that voted yes for their council raises should also vote yes for this. It's a little ironic if they don't.
Thank you for your opinion.
Yeah, that's what the public does.
All right, we need the,
There's council comments. As I listened to the minutes, around the 47-minute mark, I asked the mayor, your salary and the chief of police salary was in one ordinance, and I see your proposed compensation has been removed. Did you draft this ordinance? Mayor, no, but I had mine removed because it is not in the budget. Just like this is not in the budget, so all of this has to be put in the books. Manning, who approved this? Stephanie, the chief of police was in the budget. Mayor, I don't recall seeing that. It was in there. Okay. Manning, who approved this ordinance? The mayor, Ms. Carr. Manning, no. Did you approve this ordinance? Did you know about this ordinance? The mayor said yes. But did you draft the ordinance? The mayor said no. Manning, who drafted the ordinance? The mayor stated, I can't personally tell you because I don't know. Stephanie, Ms. Carr drafted, I just changed the wording. Manning, so Ms. Carr drafted this ordinance? Stephanie, it's identical to hers. Manning, no. The question is, did Ms. Carr draft the ordinance? Stephanie, she made the recommendation. She stated it in 2 meetings. She made a recommendation for this ordinance to be on this agenda. Manning, it's set for a public hearing. Ms. Carr is not here tonight. At the next meeting, maybe she can attest to that. So, Ms. Carr is here at the meeting. Ms. Carr, did you draft the ordinance for the chief of police?
No. Let me be clear. I did recommend the pay raise for you, Steve. You know I did. I recommended for the police officers because I felt like y'all deserved them. But you know, because me and you had conversation, you know that I didn't write your ordinance. You knew that I did not
But
draft
I
it.
told you
we took your ordinance that you wrote for the Alderman
So now
raise.
change my ordinance. You changed my.
You told me to get the ordinance ready, so
Steve, we didn't have that conversation. When did I tell you anything about getting the ordinance ready? That's neither here nor there. Because
Okay.
I did not draft your ordinance.
I didn't say you drafted it. I told you I took your Alderman ordinance. I had the Alderman removed, put the chief of police. I had her do it because I didn't know how. My salary now and my raise, those three things. But all the wording I got from your Alderman ordinance.
Okay.
That's what I did.
Okay.
Let me ask a question. That's fine, and it is absolutely okay that the town clerk draft an ordinance or write up an ordinance. My question is this, Ms. Carr, did you give permission to Stephanie that you wanted her to draft an ordinance for you?
She didn't draft the ordinance. She didn't draft it.
The question is, because it matters based on law, because ordinance cannot be introduced except by a board member or the mayor can introduce.
So who introduced it?
So hold on, Lawrence didn't do anything because he hasn't said that he did anything. So we're talking about Ms. Carr, okay? We're talking about this ordinance at this time. So the question is, Ms. Carr, did you sponsor this ordinance for Steve? Did you tell Stephanie, hey, I want you to write this ordinance up for Steve? Or, I mean, because that is what matters. So when we're talking about ordinances, we want to make sure that it is done in the right way. Whether you did or not, we just need to know so we can move forward. And if you didn't, we need to rescind this.
All right, we're fixing to move forward because.
So the question is to Ms. Carr, did you sponsor this ordinance?
She did by recommending.
No, I can recommend anything.
That's
I can
correct.
recommend you not be mayor anymore. That does not make you not be mayor.
Oh,
In December,
So-
she asked that the council recognize the.
Okay, you know what?
the council-
All our meetings are recorded. Go get a recording and show me where I said anything about making an ordinance for Steve.
I didn't, you recommended a raise.
I recommended a raise.
So,
Do you not know what recommended means?
do you explain it to me?
It's a difference between recommending something and actually saying that I'm going to sponsor this raise, that I'm going to write this raise, that I'm going to draft this raise.
What if the law doesn't require sponsorship for every ordinance?
That I had with Stephanie was when she emailed me, and I have the email. Stephanie emailed me. She asked me to send my alderman pay raise to her in Microsoft Word. That's what she did. That was our only conversation. I recommend the raise. I'm gonna say it with my chest. I recommended the raise. I didn't write it. I didn't sponsor it.
Brian.
I didn't
say you
draft it.
sponsored it.
Okay.
But
I told you what I did.
All right, we're
Give
getting
it
out
how
of
you
order
want.
here.
I said what I did.
And you
There
did
it
it,
is.
and I
There it
didn't
is.
recommend it. Because I was not gonna come here and act like I did not recommend your raise.
I didn't-
Or the police chief, or the police
That ain't
department.
what-
I stand by that, I did.
Call to order
Max,
now. Yes, ma'am.
okay, so I think that we're establishing if it was not, drawn up by an alderman, then it can't be placed on the agenda. Am I understanding it to be correct?
Yes.
Okay, so, the attorney, I'm looking at you, keep an answer. Is that what I'm
My
understanding?
question is, because this came up before my time.
Okay, no problem.
I don't know who drafted it, but at this point, that's immaterial,
Okay,
okay?
okay,
It's been on the agenda, it's passed through this council at least twice. I think it came up in the March meeting, and now we discussed it twice in this meeting. So, I don't know if this got its first reading in February in that meeting, or if March was the first reading. It was placed on the agenda. At that point in time, if I recall, there was a quorum. Ms. Brunson and Ms. Carr were absent. No one objected to the language or it being on there. There was no talk of sponsorship, but there was a motion to move it forward. There was a second, and then there was a vote. So
it was a vote for a public hearing.
And
we
yes,
did not vote for
and
the ordinance.
no.
Ordinances are law, and we have to have a sponsor from the alderman. Ordinance or law, you have to have a sponsor from an alderman, or it has to be from the mayor, and the board approves it. Again, the chief of police, take one, please pass it down. The chief of police is an elected official, and his ordinance has to be approved just like any ordinances, and it has to be from the board. The mayor stated that he did not draft, he did not, let me make this very clear. The mayor stated that he did not give permission to the town clerk to draft an ordinance. He didn't even know about it. Ms. Carr has stated that she did not author the ordinance. So the ordinance is void and null. I don't care, we can have 100 public hearings about anything. That is just for the public to make their voice and their voice heard, not to have a vote. We have not voted on this ordinance. It's only been introduced, and by law, we cannot move forward with this ordinance because it was not authored by either party. The mayor can say, hey, I want this ordinance, and then once it's approved and the board members say yay to it, then we support the mayor and what he has brought to the board.
Okay.
That's how it goes.
Okay, so in the event all of that is laid out and we're not able to move forward because it has not been authored by an alderman, I would like to be the one that authors that.
It won't get passed tonight. You can reintroduce, you can bring it back before the board, and the board can then move forward with it.
I have one question. I have one question, please. So if that's the case, I want to see where in the law it requires a sponsorship for every single ordinance that goes through here, because if that's the case, then every ordinance prior to Ms. Carr's, to your ordinance submitting for the packet delivery, there's never been a sponsorship for ordinances.
And
so all of those are null and void?
And that's the problem.
We got a lot of null and void.
That is the problem. We find out.
Where in the law does it say it has to be sponsored?
We're talking about a period.
Somebody
We're talking
call the
about
question.
ordinances, period.
So
Hold the question.
We're talking about ordinance period. Okay, so here we are. Okay. And this is just for,
Take the vote.
Take the vote. Hold the question.
Take the vote.
Yeah, one more quick comment.
so the Larson Act, and of course most home rule or legislative charter envisions as systems of cooperation and checks and balance between the board and the mayor on many matters. So it says, for example, the appointment of the municipal officers of Larson Act municipality, we are the legislative branch. The board enacts ordinances setting civic and criminal penalties, provide for policies and procedures regulating municipal employees, and generally design the structure of municipal government department. So the biggest component of the board is to enact law, and ordinances are law, and we are over the budget.
okay, so I'm sorry.
Oh, you're the alderman, go right ahead.
I do respect your respect that you have for the law. I don't doubt what she's saying is in place and be done accordingly. I think that's the gist of what she's saying. Like I said, I do want to sponsor that, the ordinance for that, and if we have to table it for next time and reintroduce it, we'll start the process.
Yes, that's what we have to do.
All right, so it breaks my creek down for closure again, but Louisiana Revised Statute 33:406 is the one that, the legislative act that governs all of that, and that does not say that it has to be sponsored by anybody. So you need to read the statute before you spout off what you don't really know about, would be my suggestion, and that may help the town attorney.
Yeah, the board enacts ordinances.
All right, I need to hear a motion that we table this till, next meeting.
So why can't we vote?
I'll make a motion to table.
That's illegal.
Well, yeah, we have to vote on this first.
Yes.
We have to vote on this here to, the ordinance that was presented, we need to vote on it, and then we can make a motion to bring it back up at the next meeting.
But wasn't it already on the agenda?
It's void because it was,
No, it's not void.
It's already on the agenda.
No, you'll have to sue Ms. Manning to get that rescinded.
I'll sign this really quick. Jeremy Hall's here in town. Louisiana Revised Statute 33:421 lays it out very clearly that it's standard practice in almost every Louisiana municipality for the clerk and town attorney to draft formal language of ordinances based on the instructions of aldermen. The alderman's role is to provide the intent. The clerk's role is to provide the technical formatting and ensure that it meets requirements. Ms. Carr stated she recommended it. It sounds like the clerk wrote it. I think we should vote on it. That's just reading the law as it is. Thank you. Correct.
I don't disagree, but if we're gonna get on a fine point of law, I would say move to table it. Take the legs out from under arguments.
Absolutely.
And then move forward. It seems like everybody's in agreement, but we're splitting some fine hairs on procedural issues. And if that will cut the legs out from under arguments, then I don't see the issue with tabling it over till the next regular meeting.
I have no issue with that. All
Still
has
have
to
to
be
vote
clear.
on it. We've got a motion and a second, and we've had public comment, and so we need to vote on this ordinance. If it fails, then we'll table it.
do we vote on the ordinance that?
No, we need
It's
to
a final
vote
vote
to
for
table it.
this ordinance
Yeah,
626.
we need to vote to table it, not
Not to vote
Now,
on
we've
it.
got a motion and a second to approve this ordinance.
You have to dispense with that by Robert's Rules of Order first, then you can move to the second one. Read Robert's Rules of Order and it will help you greatly.
You know, we all do.
No, you don't.
We have to move, like I said, we have to move on this. It has to be voted on. If it's denied, it can be tabled. So y'all need to take a vote on approval of this ordinance to raise the police chief's salary.
Have to ask LMA for procedural on that, but okay.
Well, they're not going to give us opinion today. That's my opinion. Right now, it needs to be voted on, and then it can be tabled. So, I think the mayor has a right to call for a vote at the conclusion of your comments.
Need a roll call for the vote?
Everybody through talking about it? All right, roll call vote.
Ms. Carr?
No.
Ms. Manning?
No.
Ms. Brunson? Yes. Mr. Perry?
I'm voting. I'm so.
It's coming up. You can say
So I
yes.
can say.
Well,
You can say no.
you can say yay, nay, or abstain.
I'm going,
What you can't tell?
so, he's not. I want to be clear on what I'm voting for. I'm voting for it to be, we're voting for it to go, to be as it is on the agenda tonight.
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Lawrence?
Yes.
Now,
So it's going to be tabled, correct?
No, you just voted yes.
Okay, someone can make a motion to table it, okay? And second it, and then vote on tabling it so we can address these procedural concerns.
Okay, so
of
I
the
just
council.
voted yes. Okay, forgive me, y'all, I'm trying to make sure that I'm clear on what I'm doing, so
All
I,
I gotta do is veto.
Sure.
All right, I'm gonna veto it so that it will go to the, they will vote on it to go to the next meeting, okay?
Gotcha. So we all need.
Y'all got that down there? Secretaries, I got a veto. All right, so now I need a motion to set this ordinance for next month's meeting.
Vote to override.
Send it to him next week and he can veto it in writing. But he stated his intention right now so that we can table it, Ms. Manning.
But it's already been approved.
Just because it's approved by the alderman, it's just like the U.S. House of Representatives sends a bill to the president. Just because they say, hey, we want this, the president has the power to say no and veto it. So, this has been passed, 3-2, but y'all have a problem with the procedural elements. So the mayor, to clean up this mess and satisfy y'all, is going to veto that ordinance, have it sponsored. Alderman Perry is going to sponsor it and bring it back. And we will revisit this once all these procedural defined errors that you and Alderwoman Carr have an issue with are addressed.
I have an issue with it. I didn't hear her have an issue with it.
All right. We'll have class
I will make
later.
a motion to table.
Take what?
Yeah, there's no table. We just need a motion for Ms. Perry to reintroduce this next meeting.
I motion to reintroduce it for the next meeting.
Got a second? I got 2 seconds. All right, this ordinance 626 of 2026, ordinance of 542 of 2016, setting the salary for the chief of police has been tabled and will be set for the next meeting by veto. Will be reintroduced at the next council meeting. All right. All right, under the new business, we have our insurance renewal policy gentleman tonight, Stephen Maxwell. He's going to come forward and tell us about our insurance policies and what we got, and then we'll take a motion in a second and public comments, and we'll vote on insurance renewal.
I have the pleasure, my name is Steve Maxwell. I have the pleasure of introducing Jim Paul Maxwell behind me here. He's going to hand out the renewal booklets. And let me just say before everybody, I'm really happy I'm not coming up here asking for the raise. Okay? Because I'm not an employee. As you get your books, let me kind of tell you what I'm going to do. Every year, for the last 7 years, we have been blessed with the opportunity to service you folks with your insurance. And I think we've done a really good job. And every time I come up here, I'm talking about the #1 things about your premium, and that's claims. But before I get to that, I want you to turn to page 8, and that's where I'll actually be starting the guts of the program. And on an overall basis, if you look at the left side of page 8, I'll be reviewing your auto, your general liability, your workers' comp, your inland marine, your property, your employee benefits liability, your law enforcement liability, your public liability, and public entity employment practices policies. So these are the 8 or 9 coverages I'm going to be briefly covering. Okay? So with that being said, let's talk about everything that I told you I was important for the last 5 years, and that's claims. And I just want everybody to know we have had a great year of claims. Okay, we've had, for the first time, we made money for the insurance company.
Now, I don't like them particularly, okay? And I want you to get the best thing you can get from them. But to get that, we have to be really good in our claims activity. So over the last 5 years, we've had like 790-something thousand in claims. And it's basically due to tornadoes, windstorm claims, and also the sewer backup claim down on Palmetto Road. In that area, we had the terrible situation with that creek coming back up. And as a result of that, we had a $500,000 claim on that situation. It's about 2 years, maybe 3. I get lost in years. But it was ugly. I visited every person down there that had a claim to all 13 houses on that road. I was there 2 hours the morning of that claim happened. It happened at like 4 or 5 in the morning, and that's when you got your person here that you employ found out and got a call that there was a problem. He went down there and things started to roll. Well, I was there about 10:30 in the morning, and I met with everybody that had a claim. And it was unfortunate, it was bad, but to make a long story short, there's some situations that we've had in the last 5 years that put us behind the 8 ball claims. But we've had a good year this year, and praise the Lord, past the beans and bullets, that we've had a good year. So with that being said, I'm going to go over this page 8 and page 9, and then I'm going to ask Jim Paul to come up, Maxwell to come up, and he's going to kind of review the specifics of the different areas I'm going to review. Okay, on your commercial auto, we had on the left side, you have this current year, which is the 25-26 year, you had 20 units. We've added a unit, so now you have 21. The premium moved from 51,000 to 61,000, and that's because of an additional unit and a rate increase. Okay. Is everybody with me there? Okay. Your general liability is an expensive part of your coverage. It moved from 113, it moved downward a little bit. And it moved downward because it's rated on your budget. So each year as the budget changes, it's that focal point where you change your premium. But the rates pretty much remain the same, and that's what's important is your rate. Your workers' compensation, that covers your employees. You still have an 86 modifier, both last year and this. The premium went down about $1,000. Your inland marine is a policy that you have scheduled equipment, you have leased and rented, and equipment which allows you to rent things and be covered under your policy with rental companies. And that's just the ongoing maintenance pretty much that your maintenance facility has been on the corner. One of your big costs is your property insurance. And last year, TIV means total insured values. That's where we add up all the buildings, all the contents, and everything. And last year you had $7,475,782, and this year it's very close, a little bit higher, $7,006,000. And that's broken out by business and personal property improvement. The premiums moved up a little bit, pretty much because you raised $200,000 in that. Your employee benefits liability, that's a requirement if you have a retirement plan. You have ERISA requirements, but also on the employment benefits liability, let's say that for some odd reason, the folks here that administer benefits, let's just say they forget to offer benefits to one of your employees, and all of a sudden they have a claim, and you don't catch that mistake until the claim happens. Well, you got a problem, okay? That's a problem. That's a liability claim for not timely giving them the benefits. Law enforcement liability, well, that's your police force. That takes into account all the bad things that people might be, that are officers in the field could be subject to when they carry a gun or a nightstick or something like that. And it's liability insurance in case you're sued as a result of their activities. The premium there went up from 37 to 42. Your public entity management liability is you folks here, the good things you do for the city and your functioning to administer the town's business. Well, that's a liability if you do something and you're sued over it because of your wrongful acts. And it covers all of y'all, including the mayor and anyone that is a representative of the city in management type functions. Public entity employment practices liability is a good example of that would be a discrimination suit or a just any practice where you're sued over wrongful application of your policies. And the way this thing works, a good way to look at it, these 8 or 9 different topics forms a spider web, if you will, over the city. And if it's not covered in one part of the spider web, it's because it might fall in a different category than it is covered in that one. So that's why under your auto policy, it doesn't cover workers' comp. Why? Because you have a work comp policy. Go file it there. So that web gives you the protection you need for the city. Okay. Now on the next page, I'm going to go over the premiums. This is the good part. The very bottom, the middle column is $273,738 that you paid last year. Well, you've added an auto, you've increased your budget, and that's some of the increase. This year, it's only $288. So when you look at 273 versus 288, and I'm rounding off there, it's about a 4% rate increase. Well, that's fabulous. Okay, 15% rate increase is what I'm doing renewals at and getting normal businesses like contractors and stuff. They're getting anywhere from a 10 to a 15% every year rate increase. So kudos to the city. We've had a great year in claims, and Travelers has rewarded that year with a really good renewal price. And that's something you got to be proud of. Now, the next page is another deal I want to show out. Very important, you do not have an umbrella policy, and an umbrella policy is another set of liability limits that fit over the coverages that I showed you on page 8, but they're liability coverage, like auto liability, general liability, employment practices liability. Well, they pretty much all are $1 million limit on that. But you can buy an umbrella policy that covers above those, so if you have a claim, and I'm talking about autos where you really have an exposure, because you can kill people, okay? It's very simple, you can kill them. So that, if they pierce the corporate limits of your first million on page 8, then you have another $1 million that sits on top of that, okay? Well, you haven't bought it. It's an optional coverage for you. You don't have it now. But every year I talk with you about it, because it is really important, the claims that are getting asked for and the damage that auto can do to the public. These are third-party claims, by the way. So let's just think about that. I'm not asking you for anything tonight. I'm asking you to consider that. What I will be asking you to is approve everything else. Okay, well, that's later. Okay, so that's umbrella. Now, what do? I'm responsible for coverages and also for marketing your account to get you competitive quotes. So if you look at that second topic called marketing efforts, we sent your account to EMC, and they could write the property, but they could not write the casualty, the general liability and coverages like that. And without that, they're not any use to us, because I can't go to Travelers and offer them a piecemeal deal, because they won't give you the credits if they don't write the whole account. Okay, so it's that kind of negotiation. I also sent it to Gridiron because they have a national program for municipalities, but they will not write blanket coverage on your property, which is really important. Okay. Now, with that being said, there are 4 things that we still need to gather, and I'm just going to mention in this book. Last year, if y'all remember, PMI, you voted for $29,000, I think, something. I heard that. Yeah. To do the handbooks and all that stuff. I need desperately a copy of that. Because I cannot bind this without something, either a handbook, and as I understand it, they're in the works. They've been drafted, and I think y'all are maybe looking at handbooks now. Okay, so it would be great, and I can put them off. I can put them off and promise them something.
We have it on the computer, and we can send it to you.
Oh, that's great. That would be super. I can put them off, but I really don't want to because they've been after me. Now, also under the firearms and training recommendations, they're going to require 4 shoots. I met with Police Chief Collier, and we discussed a response for this, and I'm going to submit that to travelers. We know that you have to have 1 shoot for record, and you do that at the sheriff's shooting deal. But since you've only got 9 shooters, policemen around the field, what I'm going to ask him to do is if they can go up in separate groups of like 3 or 5 or whatever, and just do some additional shoots. They're not record shoots, but it would be an activity for familiarization for the firearm. What we're trying to do there is familiarization of the firearm leads to a lesser chance of an accidental shooting, okay? That's what travelers is really concerned with, is accidents. Now, also a copy of the police pursuit policy is kind of a new one they're throwing on me. And then current water quality report. I don't know who would have that, but that's why I highlighted and I put them in this proposal, that whoever is the proponent for that, these 4 things I need. So with that being said, before I turn it over to Jim to talk about, and he's going to start out, by the way, he'll start out and give you some highlights of the auto, the liability, just the same things we just discussed. He actually has the nuts and bolts of the quote. But we're not here to make y'all experts. We've only got about 10 minutes that we're budgeting for y'all, that he's going to take some of that time and do that. But at the end of it, I'm going to come back up and I'm going to ask for a council vote on this, because the policies renew on the 30th of this month. I always want to present the month of y'all's meeting so you can give us an answer, because I have to do things with travelers, okay? And the only thing I haven't covered is the pay plan, but you got a couple of choices, and that really doesn't seem to be that critical in y'all's meeting. It's more of a, someone looks at the budget and they decide where you stand and what you want to do. But I just want to let you know that there's a couple options on that. Jim, you want your turn?
Sure.
Good luck to you.
Everybody's excited about everyone's favorite topic, insurance.
Yeah. And also, Jim Hall is my backup on the account, so we have 2 people now in the service team that's working.
Same last names, my uncle. Yeah. How's everybody doing tonight? So I'll just go ahead and just kind of page on the next page and skip over insured name, town, and Benton on page 10. Page 11 is named insured and locations, and these are all locations of the buildings that are scattered throughout the parish. We have verified these with the insurance committee, so it's just kind of just a quick list. Nothing there really of, but the first named insured is the town of Benton. That's who's on the policy. So page 12, business auto. Again, with Travelers, Travelers is the package deal for this policy, so that means they're writing most of the lines. Combined single limit for your business auto coverage is $1 million. That means in any one claim, you can have up to $1 million that they would pay out, and that's the limit of insurance per occurrence. So, we have good court in this state. I mean, you guys have all seen the billboards. We do see that every once in a while, but typically it would fall under that $1 million. Below that, the couple important things here. Liability is symbol 1, which means it can cover any auto. Basically, any auto is covered, and that means that it's just, if y'all bought a new auto and you didn't really tell anybody, and you forgot to maybe tell us, and somebody was in an accident in that auto would still be covered. It's just any auto and it's the best symbol it's the most inclusive symbol for business auto for insurance. So that's a good thing. That's something we always ask for. Uninsured motorists, we've rejected that. Underinsured motorists, we've rejected that. That's just something that we would tell you that's the best option, is you don't want that. It's another pool for the attorneys to go after if there's an accident. This policy is liability only. It's covering the liability on all these autos. There is a separate for the auto collision, and it is composite rated, which means if you add an auto, it's added and subtracted at the end of the year. So you don't really have to make it, it's not as much detail on it. If you add an auto or subtract an auto, you notify us somebody immediately. It's sort of aggregate at the end of the year. So below that's the auto schedule. You're paying roughly $2,900 a vehicle for this policy, which for a commercial policy is pretty good. It's pretty competitive. The next page 13 is the driver list. Starts the driver list. You all should all see some familiar names on that. And as we go over into page 14, that's the end of the list. And again, we've talked to Stephanie about these lists and have a list that's a running list that we kind of keep up with. So these are, you know, if there's any changes, we tend to stay on top of that. Okay, so that's business auto. Any questions about business auto in general? Okay. Page 15, general liability. And general liability, as y'all probably know, it's, you know, again, this is with travelers. That's if there's a claim and something happens from somebody that's in the town of Benton that injures somebody else. So this would be followed, that would be a general liability claim. A couple things of points. Again, it's a $2 million aggregate, which means per year you have up to $2 million in claims. Each occurrence is $1 million. So that's $1 million that could be potentially up to one claim. There's a couple things on here that I want to just talk about. And so, you know, fire damage is included, but then as you go down, there's a couple of things that fall under what they call sub-limits. And so you've got, as my uncle was talking about, employee benefits liability is a $3 million sub-limit. So that's actually higher than the limit of insurance of your general liability, standard general liability. That falls outside the limit for the general liability. These are add-ins. These are endorsements that we put into there to cover it all since you all are a public entity. Excuse me, public entity management liability claims made, that's $1 million. That's again the GL for the management. The law enforcement liability, that's another $1 million. Public entity employment related practices liability, again, that's another $1 million. And then you have a couple of limits below that. You have the close to the heart sewage backup and the failure to supply limits. The failure to supply limits is if there's somebody who's outside or in town ordinance and they don't have an actual like utilities that line up to their house and they sue you for it. That's covered under this. Any questions on that?
If you increase the deductibles on some of these, like from 1,000 to 2,000,
Yeah.
like from 5,000 to 7,500,
Right.
Maybe 12,000, then maybe 7,500 again, does that create a pretty good size reduction in the liabilities?
It really isn't, and it's always a disappointing conversation when we start playing with deductibles and people are like, okay, if I double my deductible, what does that get me? And it's like minimal return of premium or, you know, discounted premium. It's just, you have to go up to like 25,000. I mean, where it really starts being egregious, where if you get a claim, you're paying a lot of it to make a noticeable change in the actual premiums. We have that conversation every day, and it's always disappointing to look at the amount of difference in premium versus the deductibles. You know, we could run it, but I guarantee you it's not going to be what you're looking for. You know, as far as the change in the actual premium.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, but, you know, we always ask, and we say, hey, listen, you know, because the only one that I see that's really low is the employee benefits liability, the claims made for $1,000 deductible. But again, it's, you know, that's something where it's one of those coverages that you don't use very often. When's the last time you guys actually used the employee benefits claim? And, you know, to play with, we could look at it, but I just don't think you get very much from it.
I do have a question. On page 13, are these current employees?
Yes, ma'am, these should be current employees.
Are these current employees of the mayor?
They need to be revised.
Okay.
No, I just let me see.
We have so I'm hearing we have a revised list that we could put in, and that's fine.
These are the people that are insured under the, for drivers, right?
These are listed as the
Vehicle
drivers, yes ma'am.
Right. So
And there's one or two on here that they need to be taken
Okay,
off,
that's fine.
but they've been replaced.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Same
sir.
difference,
Yeah,
just different names.
great. And so we'll make sure we get that taken care of before we bind. And that's something that, again, this is not the list that will be, this is the list we're going off of tonight, but it may have a couple names on there that are outdated.
Okay.
All right.
Mr.
You got it. Any other questions? All right, so if you get tired of hearing me just gavel me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll try to move this forward. Workers' comp, page 16. So workers' compensation, these are what covers and if there's somebody who's a employee of the city gets injured on the job. $1 million coverage, that's standard. This is with Stone Trust. They're A-rated, excellent rated, and we always shop it, so they came in with the best quote for us. Your major codes, if you look down under the work comp rating information, the expiring exposure, these are the payrolls that are run under these codes. So you've got 3 codes that are sort of your largest. You've got the largest is police officers and drivers for 7720. That is $474,000 of payroll that's being run through that. And then there's a couple other ones, 8810, which is your clerical, and then 7520, which is your waterworks operation and drivers. So those are kind of your 3 defining codes for the parish. These are, again, really just, these are the major codes that are driving the premiums for your work comp. So those are the ones we pay attention to. The rates are pretty competitive though. If we look at like the 8810 is sort of the litmus test, is 15 cents for clerical employees. That's a pretty good rate for clerical employees. So we've shopped this and made sure that these are good rates for you. But the other rates are incidental on the next page. So that's pretty much it. There's 2 people that are included on this. We have James Friday, who's mayor, and Steve Collier, who's elected the police chief. Both of those are included on the workers' comp, which means that if they were injured, they would be part of the benefits of the workers' comp. Pretty standard stuff. Any questions on that? All right, page 18. Real quick, this is your commercial inland marine. It's the equipment schedule for all the equipment. It is composite rated, so basically you've got some scheduled equipment, but it's a blanket for scheduled equipment, which really means if they throw a blanket on something, if there's a piece of equipment that's damaged, there's really not going to be very many questions of is it covered, is it not covered, is a blanket that covers pretty much all the equipment. You have separate below that for leased and rented. So if you lease or rent a piece of equipment, that is also covered up to $50,000. And then scheduled, unscheduled, owned, which is just sort of a surprise. Oops, forgot to tell you about it. Per item is $55,000. Amount of insurance is $50,000 total. So it's pretty standard stuff for inland marine. Again, that is travelers also. Page 19, property. These are the individual properties that we had listed on the schedule before. I don't want to go over this in detail. It's long. Each one has limits on it, and what it's broken out by. It's broken out by building or business personal property. So business personal property is pretty much if you take a building, you cut the roof off, you turn it over, and you shake it. Business personal property is anything that falls out. Everything else is building. So if it's attached to the building, it's a permanent piece of the building, that's building insurance. I did want to just kind of talk about something quick on this, and I'm going to kind of flash forward and then we'll come back to the rest of this. On the property, on page 26, it talks about at the top, coverages and limits of insurance, described premises. So on the page 19 where it talks about all the properties, Right under coverage is the limits of insurance. It says right here, the most we will pay for loss or damage in any one occurrence at any one premises location is 110% of the values for each building and structure, and separately for the total of your business personal property. Okay, so what this means is that for any one property listed on the premises schedule, the most that they will pay is 110% of the limit that's listed here. So if you look at the premises schedule back on page 19, I just want to use premises schedule 2. The second, towers, antennas, smokestacks, and chimneys at 413 Carrier Avenue, just as an example. This is listed as an amount, a total insured value of $1.2 million. The most that they would pay is another 10% on top of that. So that would be 1.325. So if there's a tornado that ripped through there and they knocked down all the stuff there, basically everything just was completely destroyed, the most that you would see from that is a $1.32 million settlement. That's the most of insurance that they would pay. And that's just how this insurance works. Other than that, it's a blanket for property. But the most that they will bill per unit is 110%. Any questions on that? Okay. All right, and then just as a point of order, we're basically done. Everything behind that is sort of the actual policy itself. But I did want to just talk real quick about this. On page 28, Travelers has you enrolled in what's known as the Deluxe Property Coverage Form, which does have some throw-ins. And, you know, we do a lot of municipalities. Travelers writes most of it. Travelers is the best place for municipalities, towns, parishes, school boards, everybody. A couple of these on page 28 that I just wanted to point out. You have, you know, the AR and stuff like that, accounts receivable, debris removal for an additional amount. This is actually a higher than normal coverage. It's $250,000. That's good. So if you have a situation where you have a claim and there's a building that's been destroyed, the debris removal is additional. They will cover up to $250,000 of that. And then down below, you know, there's additional throw-ins and stuff like that. Employee tools, you know, $25,000 for each occurrence. Down at the bottom, newly constructed or acquired property. So if y'all buy a building and you just happen to purchase the building on a Monday and that Wednesday it's a tornado hits it and destroys it, it's actually covered for $2 million under this policy without listing it. So that's, you know, one of the nice things about these additional employee or additional property coverages is that if you buy something and it's included under this sort of a additional throw-in. And then personal property, each premises for additional like that purchases is $1 million. So you would be covered under something that was, you know, just a newly added piece of building. And now that's pretty much it. I don't need to take a ton more of your time tonight, unless there's any specific questions. The rest of this behind this is just the actual policy itself. And most of that is outlined in the coverage forms that we talk about at the front.
I got one question.
Yes, sir.
Give me a definition for business personal property.
Yes, sir. So business personal property is typically stuff like computers, all your stuff that you would bring in as a part of your work. So it's actually stuff that you're using that's not bolted into the building. So desks, computers, anything that is used as a course of business is business personal property. Kitchenware, if you have stuff here in the kitchen, microwaves, televisions, monitors, computers, stuff like that, that's all business personal property.
Well, my question is, now that you said that, we don't have any personal property here.
Well, it's business property though. It's not your personal property. It's the property of the town that you use.
So it's like if I brought a computer in here and I was using it for business purposes, it would be covered or would not be covered?
Well, if it's your computer but you're using it for business personal or business purposes, is that a computer that you use for your business? Or is that just you brought in your PC that day to use for, you know, like you brought in your laptop that day? If you brought in your laptop that day to work from work, it probably is not covered. But if that's your work computer that you use on a regular basis, it is covered.
Okay.
It's
The other thing, that the key word there is personal, and I don't.
personal from the insured's standpoint. The insured is the town of Benton, right? So that's, the town is the insured, it's the personal property of the town. So it's it's from the perspective that you're looking at it.
Yeah, I understand.
Yes, sir. Any other questions?
With that being said, we would like to respectfully ask that the town accept or vote on our proposal. And I just want to say that we have really enjoyed working with the town, and I think we do a good job. And so with that being said, I will be quiet and sit down.
All right, so, I need I guess are we gonna, before we make this motion, there's some things that we need to iron out, or something that you need to change in the policy per se, or anything?
No, so the only thing we really, it's a little bit, it was just going to be an open discussion, is the pay plan, but that's the formal quote. That is the formal.
And the driver's list is something that we easily take care of and just get it done. It's not something that is going to be premium adjusting or anything like that. It's just, just a matter of having the correct driver's list. So we'll get that updated, and it's not material to the binding of the policy.
I need a motion and a second for insurance renewal.
I'll make a motion for the insurance renewal.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any public comments? There are none. Any from the council? There not being any, let's have a roll call vote, please.
Ms. Carr?
Yes.
Ms. Manning?
Yes.
Ms. Brunson? Yes. Ms. Perry?
Yes.
Mr. Lawrence?
Yes.
Now, this resolution for the wastewater, and then for resolution 2 is for the Palmetto wastewater treatment plant. So these are resolutions that we need to work on to make sure that we stay in standards with the Louisiana Department of Economic Equality and stuff. So, resolution number 1 of 2026 is the Rock Reed. That's the north plant over here, off of 7th Street. So, Stephanie, can you read that, please?
Sorry, what?
Resolution 1.
I read it. A resolution to inform the Louisiana Department of Environmental Quality of the Town of Benton Water Pollution Prevention Audit Report. Whereas the Town of Benton owns and operates a public sewage treatment plant located at 139 7th Street, Rock Reed Wastewater Treatment Plant, and whereas the Town of Benton does hereby wish to inform the Louisiana Department of Environmental Quality that the following actions have been taken by the Town Council. First, resolve the Municipal Pollution Environmental Audit Report, which is attached to this resolution. And second, set forth the following actions necessary to maintain permit requirements contained in the Louisiana Pollution Discharge Elimination System, LPDES, permit number LA 00388784, to continue being good environmental stewards by maintaining our wastewater treatment plant and continuing required analytical analysis in accordance with our current LDEQ permit, including monthly monitoring of influent CBOD.
Okay. I need a motion and a second to approve this resolution.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 1 of 2026.
Second.
You said it, Ms. Perry?
Second.
Ms. Perry, second. Okay. All right, any public comments on this? Any council members? Are none, roll call vote, please.
Ms. Carr?
Yes.
Ms. Manning?
Yes.
Ms. Brunson?
Yes.
Ms. Perry?
Yes.
Mr. Lawrence?
Yes.
This is resolution number 2 of 2026, the Environmental Wastewater Treatment Plant, which is down here by the church, by the tower. If you read that, please.
A resolution to inform the Louisiana Department of Environmental Quality of the Town of Benton Water Pollution Prevention Audit Report. Whereas the Town of Benton owns and operates public sewage treatment plant located at 4679 Palmetto Road, and whereas the Town of Benton does hereby wish to inform the Louisiana Department of Environmental Quality that the following actions have been taken by the Town of Benton. Resolve the municipal pollution environmental audit report, which is attached to the resolution, set forth in the following actions necessary to maintain permit requirements contained in the Louisiana Pollution Discharge Elimination System permit number LA 0102890 to continue being good environmental stewards by maintaining our wastewater treatment plant and continuing required analytical analysis in accordance with our current LEDEQ permit, including monthly monitoring and effluent CBOD.
Okay. Need a motion and a second to approve resolution number 2, please.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any public comment? There are none. Any from the council? There are none. Roll call vote.
Ms. Carr?
Yes.
Ms. Manning?
Yes.
Ms. Brunson? Yes. Ms. Perry?
Yes.
Mr. Lawrence?
Yes.
Thank you, council, for passing both of those. That will help us continue our work on connecting these two plants together. All right, the SBA Tower land lease renewal. That's the tower down here by the Palmetto wastewater plant. SBA we need to renew their lease, the land there. So I need a motion and a second for that, please.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any public comments? There are none. Any from the council? Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Carr?
Yes.
Ms. Manning?
Yes.
Ms. Brunson? Yes. Ms. Perry?
Yes.
Mr. Lawrence?
Yes.
All right, item number 5 is the consideration of approval of the purchase of a camera for sewer lines, and James Jackson from the superintendent from the town will be here to talk about that. So let's get a motion and a second first, and then we'll let him come and talk.
James is up, Mayor.
Pardon me?
James is not here.
He left?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't see him. All right, I need a motion and a second on this, and then I will discuss it.
I'll motion to consider.
Second.
All right. This is a camera that we use to, I was thinking I had a paper for it, but I was thinking James was going to have all that. But it's a portable camera, 200 feet, to where we can go inside our sewer lines, whether it be residential or business, to find out where the problem is lying. Technically right now, I believe that piece of equipment runs like $12,000, maybe some change over, I can't recall exactly what it is. But anyway, you got it right here? Okay. Yes, $12,245. Does everybody have that in your pack? Oh, okay, good. What this does is help us to keep from calling another contractor to come in, which they normally charge a minimum of $500 plus for their time when they come in to use their services, to use their cameras. This camera comes with a computer, the roll for the cameras and everything. I saw it in operation about 3 months ago over at the maintenance shop. They just now got around to sending us a a formal quote, and I just thought that I would bring it before the council to see, let you see what it, I wish that he had pictures with it. Don't have them here with me. I apologize for that, but it would be a good investment for the town. We're a growing town, and we've got a lot of communities being added on, and it would be to our advantage to have this to our workforce. So,
Mr. Brian, it's like,
yes, ma'am.
A water leak, you can put the camera.
No, water leak,
Not
sewer.
water leak, sewer. Okay.
Yeah, it's just for the sewer lines, so that, we had a sewer line that somebody backed over and collapsed over here, on Caddo. They backed in there with a truck. In order to find it, we had to do some digging on both sides to find the line, and then we knew that from the indention that a truck had backed into it and collapsed the line. And this had to run into some overtime because, they just had to dig it up to find it. And once we found it, we left the opening and we replaced the line, left the crushed pipe that was crushed for the owner of that property so that he would know. And we're in the process of trying to get him billed for that, to repair that, replace that time and usage that we had. So that's, hope y'all would, you know, it's less than $30,000. We could get it, but I would rather bring it to you guys every time I get something down that y'all can look at, know something about what it was, so that when you see it on the expenditures or on the budget list, you know what it was spent for.
This has already been purchased?
No, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
No, ma'am.
And how often do the person come out that charge $500? How often is that service used?
Joy, could you answer that?
As far as how often,
Yeah.
it just depends on, they're used more in the sewer mains. The larger sewer lines are dropping down in a manhole. It's a 360-degree view inside the pipe. And it measures distance. You drive it down the manhole, it'll tell you how far down the sewer main that the break is or where the problem is, keep you from having to dig that whole thing up.
How often do y'all use?
It depends on.
It just depends on how often the sewer mains break. I mean,
For example, last year, I know that we called out pulley one time, several times, and then I can't think of the other guy, starts with a P, whatever his business, FAR or something like that.
Bud Construction.
Whatever it was. But anyway, we called out, I think we had 7 or 8 calls last year.
Is it $500 or approximately
It's
around
more than
$500
No,
per
it's more than
hour?
that. No, it's more than
It's
that.
very
That's just a start. That's just to get them out here.
Okay, so the.
Yeah, just to drive out here, it's before they start working, it's $500 right off the bat.
Okay, so the investment is going to be worth it instead of.
I would think so, yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Does it come with the lifetime warranty?
It comes with the warranty, I forget what, it's not on that paper there?
I didn't see it. I didn't.
I think it has either a 2 or 3 year warranty on that, because the cables that the camera goes in on are flexible. And if somebody was to mess up one of those cables or torque it the wrong way, we would have to replace that. But other than that, that's the only moving part that really would go bad would be the cable itself. But the computer part of where the screen and everything is, it's in a box, it sets up there, and it's
a remote control.
It's remote.
It's like a little buggy. It's got a camera on the front of it.
So pretty much anybody that needed to use it could use it?
Yes, ma'am. But I mean, once.
Well, not everybody, it'd be the town.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I know I can't use it, I'm sure you
Yeah.
can't use it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So say for instance, the sewer backed up at your house, just saying, they would come over there and then they would go into the line and find out whether it was on your property or whether it was in the sewer main, it was causing it, wherever it may be, causing it to back up for the flow of water.
I'm familiar with what you're talking about because that did happen in my home. So I know about the camera, you know.
Okay, very good.
It's expensive.
This is a camera on a larger scale
Okay.
than what they use.
Yeah, we had to call a plumber.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I had to call the plumber one time because mine was backed up to run the camera down there and found out it was on the city's sewer line, but I had to pay the plumber.
Yes.
So if we'd have had this,
This would be more for the larger sewer line. It's a camera like that, Ms. Carr, on a larger scale.
Okay.
So, I would like to have a motion in a second that y'all discuss this, and that I will get with Mr. Jackson and see about getting this purchased, if it's okay with you guys. Girls, ladies, gentlemen.
I got the motion in second.
Ma'am? Already got a motion and a second? Oh, okay. All right, and, did we have any public comment or anything? Did we discuss it or anything? Anybody want to talk about it? All right. We've discussed it, so can we have a roll call vote, please?
Ms. Carr?
Yes.
Ms. Manning?
Yes.
Ms. Brunson? Yes. Perry?
Yes.
Mr. Lawrence?
Yes.
All right, James will be glad to hear that. All right, item number 6, month-to-date financials. If you got some questions and stuff on that, I hope you can keep it brief, because we've got 2 more people, we've got 1 more person that needs to be put on the agenda tonight, and I know you want to hear from him. I need to make a motion for consideration of the month-to-month financials. A motion and a second from someone, please.
I'll make a motion to consider.
Second.
All right, we got a motion and a second to consider the approval. Any public comments? Or none? Any council members got any comments?
Yes. So on the general fund balance sheet, I see that we have some new line items. These line items, it's about 19 of them that the budget was not amended for. And so, and they have no allotment of funds. So, in order for new line items, according to the Louisiana Local Government Budget Act, all new line items added to an already adopted budget, the government body must amend the budget and appropriate funds to that new line item before money can legally be spent.
I think we just went and redone the budget here a couple of weeks ago. Did we, Stephanie?
I don't know which one she's talking about.
The budget cannot,
Which line item, so what page?
the budget cannot be added or changed without the approval of the board members.
Can you tell me what line items you're talking about?
So we're looking at the income statement for general fund under general administrative expenditures.
Okay, you're making expenditures, not income.
So, have a little thing that we can go about. Here we are. Take one and pass it out, please, so everybody can see. From February, which was the last month, we have added under general administrative expenditures. Right here.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Oh, okay, I was making sure I know.
Looking at education goes a long way when it comes to reading.
You got that right. I have to. 50-23, 50-27, 50-35, 50-50, 54-40, 55-35, 56-21, 56-30, 56-35, 56-40, 56-45, 56-65, 56-75, 56-85, 5730, 5740, 5755, 5760, 5915, and 5930 are all new line items to the budget. Again, anytime the budget have new line items, an amendment must be done by the board.
Can I ask you a question?
So,
Is there money, a lot of, are you looking at the ones that have zeros across them?
and
Because those are not new line items. We just didn't turn off the feature where it says not to print the zeros.
it has,
These are not new.
it has structured the budget. Because it was not the adopted budget that we adopted at the beginning of for this fiscal year.
It was simply.
So therefore, it has been altered.
It has not been
Okay.
altered, Ms. Manning.
So therefore, a new line item changes the approved budget structure. Adding a new line item means the budget structure is being changed from what the board originally adopted. And
Zeros?
that is. And
Are they all zeros?
you have to make sure that when you,
If they have zeros.
excuse me, point of order. Okay, so when you, according to the LGBA, when you make changes to the budget, the LGBA requires that the adopted budget include estimated revenues and expenditures for each fund and department. According to Louisiana RS 39:1305, states that the budget must contain estimate beginning balance, estimate revenues, estimated expenditures. We cannot have a line item with no dollar amount. Under the municipal budgeting principles and LGBA, a line item equal category of spending. And an appropriation, the dollar amount authorized for that category. Without a dollar amount, the governing authorities have no authority. The governing authority has not authorized any spending. The line item has no legal effect. So therefore, adding these with no appropriation for the budget cannot be done.
Ms.
Without
Conley,
an amendment.
was this a clerical error when you were running the reports?
Clerical error.
Look, it's a feature on the system that you can choose to print the zeros, because these are accounts that have been established for umpteen years. We condensed them. We don't use all of these anymore, but they're zeroed out. So you could choose to print the zeros or choose not to print the zeros. Robert was redoing the reports. The feature was not selected to print the zeros. So it's not even an error. It's just a report. It didn't change the ending balance.
So just
It's just
basically.
zeros. It's a
Yeah,
count.
the fields that were
populated.
selected to run the report,
Yeah.
it was already included, but you can't exclude it because
Yeah.
why are we talking about this light item?
Right.
Since there's no money in it and
It
it
was
was
just-
never discussed in the budget.
Didn't get selected.
Sorry.
But it has been added.
It has not been added.
Excuse me.
God, it's been there
No,
for
ma'am,
years.
it's not been added, it's been.
Hold on.
Can we move on?
Oh,
This is-
no, we will not move on. And money has been spent out of it. So therefore,
Where's money been spent? There's zeros across the line.
year to date, $460.60. So therefore, you cannot, in any line item that money is going to be spent, then it needs to reflect the budget.
Was that amount, where did you mention, current?
Is this having to do with the senior center?
No, it does not, but show it to me so I can see that too.
You're the one that showed me the highlighted $460.
No, tax refund.
So tax refund, that, you're complaining about the town of Benton getting a tax refund?
It's not a complaint.
Because there was
It is an observation.
that we had to
And
do.
point of order, when I have the floor or any of the board members have the floor, could you please let us finish so it will not be over talk? Thank you.
You're doing the over
Okay.
talking.
I have the floor.
Floor.
So, again, according to the Louisiana Local Budget Act, any item added can be, money can be spent. Because I don't want to get to November and we have expenditures in these line items and you're saying, oh, it was a clerical issue. So, I'm making note that it has been money spent in a line item. If we don't catch these things now, and it's our responsibility, then we're gonna have, again, a continuation of practices that just go on without being checked. So, again, according to the Budget Act, if a new line item is added to an already approved budget, I don't care if you did not click whatever it was supposed to be. It was not included in the original budget that we adopted. So there is an alteration to the budget. It needs to be amended.
Can I ask you a question, please? Do we have the gentleman Stephen, you said was the bookkeeper?
He's working on the book. Yeah.
Who, is he here?
Are you talking about
For
PMI?
the scrap that we're gonna give you.
What this particular thing is there was a situation where we had to, don't talk me, don't even try. There was a situation where a taxpayer overpaid their taxes and we had to refund their money. We did not have a code for it to adequately be coded to, so we had to refund his money that he overpaid. That's what that is.
And that's fine. It doesn't matter if whatever is new added line items to the budget that has structured the budget. And you cannot add line items
This
and
is the
have
kind of thing we
zero,
amend the budget at the end of the year.
and we need to amend the budget. If we're gonna do it right, I don't care about traditions, I don't care about common practices.
No, no.
Thank you. It needs to be done right. And so if these line items appear because they were not there February, nor they were there January. So this alters the structure of the budget. And when we start seeing money coming out of these different areas, I am going to make a point to identify that.
Is the money you're talking about, just for my clarification, $460.60?
I'm just following what this is.
Yeah, I know, $460.60 on tax
Yeah.
refund.
Yeah.
That
Whether it
a
was
resident
$1.
a resident overpaid the town, and the town said, hey, we're not entitled to that money.
It's
So
an
you're
adjustment
saying,
to the budget.
so you think that the board has
I
to
think.
you think the board has to approve refunding a town member their overpayment?
No.
Well,
That's
you
not
said
what I
that's a
said.
change in the budget. And all of these line items, and you're talking about money, it's zeros. There is nothing that has been taken from the budget as y'all approved it and stuck under these line items.
Nothing has to be taken. According to the Budget Act, if you add a line item, you have to appropriate funds to that line item.
LARS1.
According to the budget,
Okay,
Act.
let's-
So could you
all right.
look that up?
We will review the budget, sources as far as what the budget calls for, as far as what it says or does not do, and then we'll move on. Yes, ma'am, you go right ahead.
Because I want to understand, the items that are showing up that may have not been on the previous month's budget, Are we saying that these line items or these categories don't exist, period? Or are they there, they're just not being used on a monthly or
They've always
regular
existed,
basis?
they're in the computer, they've always existed once they're created. So they're always in the computer, right? Just like my business, I've got tons of them, right? But you can click a button to get rid of the ones that are zero, so just
Right.
quicker to look at.
Okay, is that?
Somebody hit print with the zeros in it.
Okay,
And someone
so
likes to talk to me.
when it shows up,
They're changing it.
let's say we decide to click the button that says everything shows up. If money has been spent out of those line items, that's what we're gonna see at the end.
If we select the button to not print the zero accounts, if there's money that's spent out of it, it'll still show up because it's not a zero anymore.
Okay,
Yeah,
so, but the regular practice is when money is spent out of what used to be a zero account, if it's spent, it does show up and you're gonna print that.
That's right, it's always been there.
Okay, so what you're saying is that if money is taken or if money is spent, amendment needs to be completed.
I'm saying new line item calls for an amendment.
So
Any funds that comes out of those new line items that just been calculated or printed, then we did not budget for that because that's not the budget we approved.
we also didn't budget
And
for
so
the
therefore,
overpayment.
it needs to be
So it offset
an
it.
amendment.
Gave them their money back.
Common practices has been amend the budget at the end of the year. Let me go back to our audit findings. Our audit findings from 2020 stated that the town was not in compliance with the Local Government Budget Act. We recommend a proper monitoring of the budget to actually comparison throughout the year and that the budget be appropriately amended. 2022, the same thing. 2023, the same comment. 2024
This is your
is
private
stated.
administration, ma'am.
But this is about the budget. So the 2024 stated that the town did not appropriately amend the budget for 2024. The effect, the town was not in compliance with the Budget Act. So therefore, we haven't had the audit for 2025 yet. However, common practices, not amending the budget, is something that the board has governance over. So when there are new line items with $0 amount, that calls a red flag. Therefore, why even push the button that you so-called push?
Let me
Are
ask
we in
you.
public comments yet? Because how long have you been on the board? Of those years that you just mentioned?
This is my fifth year.
Okay, so you were on the board in some of those years you mentioned. And it's just now a problem?
No, this is now.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you mentioned 2020, 2022, 2023. What in 2026?
I mentioned the audit findings
Okay.
and also the reason why we need to amend the budget so that we can make sure that we are following guidelines. So we
Yeah.
will not get a finding again, okay?
It's just now a problem.
So, the budget needs to be amended so we can accept these new line items and we can move forward.
Okay.
Just amending the budget is all that we need to do.
For my clarification, Stephanie, what would create a new line item?
A customer overpaid
That's not what,
an income, and we had to refund the overpayment to them. There was no code for tax refund in the system, so we just simply made a code to be able to code that money coming back out, which was basically making it a zero because they overpaid. We were giving them their overpayment back. So there's no dollar amount to amend because we gave them their overage. We were actually holding the money that they overpaid.
That's fine.
I get what
Please
you're saying.
understand that there's no issue with having a refund. There's no issue with,
Quit making one.
That's true.
I'm not making one.
But you are.
Point of order.
You are.
Okay.
You're talking
So,
zeros and then rambling for like 20 minutes. Please, everybody wants to go
Mayor,
home.
could you please direct the attention of the audience? When the board members are speaking, it needs to be respected. Okay, so again, it needs to be, the budget needs to be amended. We don't have to wait till the end of the year to amend the budget. We're not talking about no tax refund. We're talking about all these new line items that is on this expense, on this general fund
Okay,
statement.
okay, Alderman Manning, you've made that statement, it's been so noted. We will look at the budget lines, we've already talked about that 10 minutes ago, that we would look at it and see about it and make sure that we do not have a problem with line items that pop up mysteriously, because a lot of these things in the accounting, they once they get zeroed, it's still in the computer, they just don't put it on every budget. They don't need to, because there's nothing there to be put on there, so they leave it off and they go with whatever the numbers come up with. So if it comes back up with that account, then they'll put the numbers in there and make it balance out with the income. And then we are under audit, and we do manage the budget sheet so that we stay within the 5% one way or the other. Okay, so.
Therefore, I would like to move that the budget be amended.
We will, when we check it out, we will see if it needs to be amended.
I'm making a motion, I'm not asking.
No, we're not asking for a motion.
No, I'm giving the motion. So the motion needs to be acted on. You cannot hinder me from making a motion.
Did you ask for recognition from the chair of the meeting?
Excuse me?
Did you ask for recognition from the chair of the meeting, because the mayor is the chair? He is the chair.
Yes, he's already
And he gave you that,
recognized.
so it goes back to him. Read Robert's Rules of Order
Yes,
again.
and therefore, I'm making the.
So we can get out of here before
I'm
midnight.
making the motion. Because he's already given me the floor. So therefore, I'm making the motion.
Well, hopefully nobody seconds it.
If she wants to make a motion, let her make a motion.
Exactly.
But first of all, we haven't finished the first motion, the second of the month-to-month day financials as far as considered. So we need to make a motion to pass this one up and then turn around and make a motion to, how you gonna word your motion?
I move that the board amend the FY26 municipal budget to appropriate the necessary funds to the line items that were called out, to amend and to enter it into the official municipal budget and the financial records of the town.
She's made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Got any public comments on what she said? There are none. We need a roll call vote.
Ms. Carr?
Yes.
Ms. Manning?
Yes.
Ms. Brunson? No. Ms. Perry?
No.
Mr. Lawrence?
No.
Motion failed.
Like, as long as I did my part.
All right, item number 7 is PMI, Mark Wasikowski. If you would come forward, please. He's going to give us an update on the bookkeeping.
Excuse me, apologize. We have completed the 2025 reconciliation of forensic audit. We have submitted that to the town of Benton. That will be submitted to your legislative auditor to complete your 2025 audit. We have found 0 proprieties we have audited approximately 50,000 line items between the general fund, the 1 cent sales tax, the water sewer, the payroll, and the accounts payable taxes. It was a total of 1,955 pages of audit work. We average about 25, 30 line items per page. It's approaching 50,000 transactions that were audited for 2025. There have been allegations that PMI was hired to cover up things. Those are completely false. So we've submitted this to the mayor. I didn't print all 2,000 pages for you tonight. I'm sure most of you would love to read that as you go to bed and put it inside of you. But we do have, excuse me, we do have all the information to the town. We've requested the town submit that to the 2025 audit firm for the legislative audit, and then we will take that information and then apply that to 2026 going forward. So it was more than a Herculean task.
Great job.
So, Mr. Mark, I know you said that you have concluded your forensic audit
Of 2025.
of 2025.
Which we had allegations of covering up, which were completely false.
Yeah.
And
The question is, was that an extension to the contract that you had where your company is to provide human resource services during the bookkeeping?
Yes.
It was an additional contract?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you come before the board to get the contract approved?
I believe it was. Excuse me. The town of Benton engaged me to do this audit and to provide human resources services going forward. Those services are in place. They will continue on for 2026. So I don't have my presentation in front of you, but again, it was all done properly, I can assure you, Councilman Manning.
Okay, so in May of 2025, we hired you guys for human resource services. So when did you take on the forensic audit?
I believe it was a secondary service.
When?
Approximately at that time.
In May?
I'm not prepared to answer that, but I'll be more than happy to get you accurate reflection. But again, I'm asking you to be accurate and not make allegations.
Oh, it's
My
here.
company.
This is what we discussed when we approved the contract.
So do you have extra copies so I can read it?
Yes, definitely, you can have this one. Okay, so this is the minutes from May 2025 that Mr. Mark, because I don't know how to pronounce your last name, stated that he has been in business for 35 years and that PMI is assisting with updating employees' handbooks and employee policies. So that's what your company was hired for. So
We were hired to do this audit as well.
that's what I'm asking at the same time, because that was not in your presentation when you gave us.
I believe it was additional.
Yes, sir.
So I'll have to find that and I'll provide it.
Do you know off the top of your head how much your services are
Not enough for the work we did for 2025.
for human resources? Do you know
Not
off the top of your
my
head?
No.
Okay.
Probably the 29,000 you referenced earlier.
Okay, and did you,
Actually, 28,800 I believe was the exact number.
so you do send invoices to the town?
Absolutely.
Okay,
We do everything above board.
okay, all right. Thank you.
Any questions? I know we don't have the documentation to present to you. They have been presented to the mayor. We will assist in working with the legislative auditor to complete the 25 audit. We will also move forward with the 26 financial statements and audit as well. But again, it was Albert Godin was lead on this. She's a CPA, and she did a stellar job. So I'd like to thank.
Let me ask you, so the human resources part, so you did the human resources and the forensic audit, both of them, right?
Yes, ma'am. So is everybody clear we do both?
So, I also wanted to ask, I think you said he was hired in May, April or May?
April.
So, how long was your contract for? Do you know off the top of your head?
It's a perpetual contract. It's called an evergreen clause. So there's it's permanent, excuse me, sorry, Paul's killing me. There's termination provisions in there that you comply with, but it's considered an evergreen contract, so it's ongoing.
Okay. And the mayor has the findings, so we can get that from you. Okay, thank you.
Now, I just passed this out to you guys. This is for the Wagner Group. This is this is where we need this. Last year when we did this, no one attended except for I. The only way we're gonna get into the credit part is that one council member has to go with me, or two council members have to go by themselves. Ladies. And this location is in the whole city. This will be at the end of the month, April the 30th. It's from 5 to 9 p.m. It's free, it doesn't cost anything, but the seating is limited. I would ask that if you're going to plan on going, that you call the office and let us know by the end of the week, so I can get it turned in for April the 30th. I believe that's what it is. Yeah, Thursday. Because it is limited seating. And I plan on going, so if one more person wants to go, that'd be great. If you can't make it, I understand. So, but do ask that you try to make every effort, because there's a lot of legal stuff in here that y'all are not aware of as far as being part of the town council that you're responsible for, as far as waterworks and water systems. So, and next thing I'd like to tell you about, we'll get on with the rest of it in just a minute. I have a drainage ditch that's causing some concern over, if you'll pass that down and then pass it back so you can kind of look at it. This is called concrete canvassing. I have a ditch that's caving in, it has sand in it, and every time it rains it fills up with water, and it's causing erosion. Over here off the Palmetto. I can't remember that address. What's the name of that address?
It's called Cummins Ditch.
It's called Cummins?
Cummins Ditch.
Cummins Ditch, okay. It's a new concrete form of trying to fix an erosion situation. The engineers and I and the landowners all went and looked at it. This lady's yard's given away, and I told her there's nothing I can do about her yard, but we gotta maintain the ditches. That's our responsibility, the ditches, not the yards. But her yard's caving in and clogging up the ditches. So we gotta get some, I've got an engineer get some numbers put together on it, and we'll bring it before the council whenever I get the information back from the engineering. Now, is there anything else on the agenda that we need to talk about on the financials or the budget or expenditures? Does anybody want to talk about? If not, I ask for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye.